Hey, comic book fans, my nerdy friends, my geeky compadres, what's going on? It's Wednesday, but I'm not going to show you a haul because I only got 2 books, so not much to really show. So in lieu of that, I decided to put together a top 10 list. This is going to be a top 10 list of graphic novels, so let's hit it. Okay, so first off, it's a top 10 list, but it's my personal top 10, not based on any kind of sales figures or, anything dealing with money or, reception by critics or anything like that. This is just my own top 10, which actually turned into top 12. So I have a few honorable mentions, and then really it's more like a bottom 5 and a top 5. All of these books I absolutely 100% love. I think they're fantastic. It's just my top 5 is super solid. So they're not ranked in any other order than that. It's just the 2 honorable mentions, bottom 5, top 5. The number 1 is pretty solid too. It's gonna stay at number 1 for life, I think. But so let's just get started on the first 2 honorable mentions. So we have here The Reason for Dragons. This is a hardcover that was put out by Acacia Studios. I think I pronounced that correctly. I don't know. Written by Chris Northrup and drawn by Jeff Stokely. Cool thing about this, as you can tell, it looks very Renaissance fair kind of thing. Well, to add to that, in the first page it has a fold-out of a Renaissance fair pamphlet, complete with map and draw your own dragon section. Really neat. And it lends itself really well to the story. I'll show you the first page and give you a little info on the book. So this is the first page of the book, and now you might say, that art style reminds me of somebody. Well, it's Sean Murphy. And Sean Murphy was the original artist on this book. What ended up happening was Sean and Chris both lived in Hollywood at the time. They had worked on the story and saved it all to Chris's laptop. Well, Chris got jumped one night. They stole the laptop and never found it again. So they kind of put this project off to the side. And in the meantime, Sean ended up moving to the East Coast, and Chris just stayed. Eventually, he got Jeff Stokely involved, and they finished up the project. So really cool backstory kind of to it. I'll show you the actual art here. That's Jeff Stokely's art. Very neat. Now the story behind this is, there we go, that's the dragon. The story behind this is the main character, Wendell, is pretty much a high school outcast, picked on all the time. He likes to read books and stuff, and his stepfather tries to get him to be involved in rebuilding his motorcycle. Wendell's not really about it, so I think one day the kids at school pick on him. He runs away into the forest, and in that forest, Wendell comes across this knight, Sir Habersham, who is the only one who can fend off the dragon from burning the town. I don't want to get into spoiling it, but the adventure is fantastic, and then the realization at the end. I guess it's kind of depressing at the end. Now that I'm thinking about it, but it's really good. I actually read this with Lucas, and he enjoyed it too. So if you have any kids, I think I read it to him like a year or two ago, so like 5, 6. It was really good. There might have been a mention of smoking or something. Maybe not. I don't remember. But really, really good. And then my second honorable mention, which you're gonna look at me and be like, honorable mention? Are you serious? But it's an honorable mention for me because I'm more in tune with the movie than I was this book. Because I saw the movie first. But Frank Miller and Lynn Varley's 300. Very large, oversized hardcover. Jeez, put out by Dark Horse. If you guys don't know the story of the 300, you should. Here's, oh jeez, some of the art you can see in there. Basically, the 300 are a bunch of Spartans who go to take on the armies of Persia. Completely outnumbered and just kind of changed the tide of history, I guess. But yeah, art's super good. The story, I'm sure you know it. Like, it's a movie that I think everybody I know has seen. So, super good book. And it's just really cool that it's so oversized. It just makes it a lot more enjoyable. I think I might have that in single issues too. I don't know. I'd have to double check. Maybe I don't. Maybe I've seen them in single issues. But the art just lends itself more when it's oversized like that, instead of just in a regular single issue format. The art deserves to be just big and massive and look amazing. Sorry about the water breaks. These pills I'm on for my back like make my mouth and throat really, really dry. So I'll have a few of those in this video. I apologize. Next, we're going to get into the bottom 5. As I said, not really an order of 10 through 1. It's just kind of chunks, but we'll go with this next. Black Orchid, done by Neil Gaiman and Dave McKean. Just kind of like an all-star team. They just have this great rapport with each other that they do everything together, and it just turns out amazing. Dave McKean's art in this book in particular, I think this is the first book I read from Neil Gaiman and Dave McKean, and it's just phenomenal. The story of Black Orchid, the learning of her powers, the just kind of how she became who she is, just fantastic through this book. And you get a whole lot of cameo appearances by different characters, like this guy right here, Swamp Thing. I believe there's some Constantine in here, some Phantom Stranger, then you got some Batman rogues in here, and it's just a great freaking read. And like I said, the art is just phenomenal, just super good, and I absolutely love it. If you haven't had the chance to pick it up, you definitely should. I mean, look at these pages; they're phenomenal. But super, super good book. Next, we'll go with Daredevil Yellow. This, of course, is a Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale book, part of the, well, it used to be the Color Trilogy, but now there's Captain America White got finished. So, yeah. A lot of these books, well, maybe not a lot of them, a few of them, I love so much that I double dip on them. So I have this trade form of Daredevil Yellow, and I also have the singles, which is just a fantastic story. Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale, as some of you know, if you've been watching me long enough, you'll know they're one of my favorite teams of creators. And this book is one of the reasons. Just awesome art there, amazing story. If you don't know anything about the Color Trilogy, it's basically where the main character is trying to communicate with somebody from their past. In this case, Matt Murdock is writing a letter to Karen, just kind of explaining his origin and the yellow suit. I love the yellow suit on Daredevil. Just fantastic story. This one dealing a lot more with Matt Murdock's dad and their relationship and what went down with his dad and everything. Just such a good story. Yeah, super good. Probably my favorite of the Color Trilogy. There's Hulk Gray and Spider-Man Blue, both of which were really good, but I felt more connection to Daredevil Yellow. Next we have Blankets by Craig Thompson. This is kind of an autobiography of Craig, dealing with his insanely religious family, his relationship with his brother, and him kind of coming into his own at the end of high school, and finding love for the first time, and basically not having that love torn away from him, but kind of having to learn how to move on. Now, the art in this is very... I love it. It's black and white, completely black and white. Here. Just fantastic. There is another Craig Thompson book that I really like as well, and I kind of feel like the art, his art progressed a little bit on the next book, called Habibi, but kind of like Daredevil Yellow is to the Color Trilogy, I feel more in tune with Blankets than I do Habibi, because there's kind of a, like, I feel like I'm kind of like Craig, having the insanely overprotective, over-religious family, and having to kind of balance what you want with what's expected of you in life. And yeah, this one hit home for me, and I love it. You know what, I haven't been telling you, this is a Top Shelf book. Top Shelf put out that book. Marvel put out the Daredevil Yellow, of course, and I don't even think that Black Orchid was a Vertigo book. I think it was just DC. Yeah. So yeah, there's that. Next, we have Vincent, Self-Made Hero Publishing, done by Barbara Stock, and the art is kind of childish, I guess, but lends itself very well to the subject matter, which is Vincent van Gogh. This is a story, this is basically a biography in comic book form, and it's something that I really enjoy, because not only is it entertainment, but it's also information, I guess. So it's an infotainment book. I'm a huge Vincent van Gogh fan. I always have been, and getting to find out a little more about his life towards the end of it through comic book form is just fantastic for me. That's like, it's just great. I absolutely love it. There's nothing else I can really tell you about it. It's fantastic in like learning about the dire life he had towards the end of his life. Just kind of filled with misery and hope and beauty and longing. It's just, oh God, so good. If you get the chance, it's a short read, but so good. So if you get the chance, check this out. That Self-Made Hero Publishing also came out with a book about Pablo Picasso that I have as well. I haven't started reading it yet because it is much bigger than that book. It is huge. It's tremendous. So it might be a while before I get to that one. But that one I might end up enjoying too. I'm not as huge a Picasso fan as I am a Van Gogh fan, but still super good. Or not still super good because I haven't read it yet. Super excited about reading it, just haven't read it yet. I don't know that it'll be as good as Vincent because I love the anyway. Blah blah blah. Next, this is probably a solid like 6th place. I've had a connection with this book for quite a long time, but again, kind of like 300. First started off with the movie, but then went into just admiring the work that is the book itself, and that is The Crow by James O'Barr. One thing about this book, this one in particular, at Motor City Comic Con in 2014, I believe, I got the chance to meet James O'Barr, and he signed this copy for me. So it says, to Scott, take care, James O'Barr. It was awesome getting to meet him, but he was kind of not... He just seemed like he couldn't be bothered to be there, which kind of sucks, but it was cool to be able to meet him and get him to sign this book. Anyway, if you don't know what The Crow is about, The Crow... Well, first off, James O'Barr wrote and drew this book after his wife had passed away. And that tragic accident caused him to be inspired to write this and just kind of deal with the grieving process that he was going through. So he wrote The Crow. Now, The Crow is about a couple that were very graphically killed, and Eric, being the main character, coming back to life as kind of a mythical way, coming back to life and avenging his... I don't know if they were married. Now I don't remember. Fuck. I don't remember if it's his wife or his bride or girlfriend. Damn, that sucks. But to come back and avenge her death by just killing everybody that was involved, in just brutal fucking ways. Just brutal. And I loved it. Now, as I said, I knew about the movie first and then got into the book, but just ended up just kind of loving the book more. Here's some of the art. I realize I haven't showed it to you yet. It's just phenomenal. It's terrible that such tragedy breeds such amazing things. Here's some more of the kind of, I think he was doing painting for a little bit on this book. This is another one where I own not only the trade but the singles as well. But they're not really singles. They're kind of like prestige format books, you know, square bound. I think it was 3. I think it's 3 of them. But yeah, just amazing. Just really, God, and then in some of them, just the detail in some of the pictures, it's just incredible. So, yeah, The Crow, super, super good. Next will be my top 5, and they're awesome. All of them are fantastic. So first we'll start off with I Kill Giants, done by Joe Kelly and Ken Nimura, J.M. Ken Nimura, put out by Image Comics. This is one that I've been trying to get the singles on, and I can't. And I've been trying to get a hardcover of, but I can't find it without paying $1 million. I was lucky enough to come across this at Motor City Comic Con 2015. Got it based off of Travis's recommendation. I think he did a video one time talking about some graphic novels that he really loved. And this was one he mentioned, and for a very, very good reason. It's this tragic story, but done in such a fashion where there's definitely points where you laugh at it. There's comedy involved, there's fantasy involved, but also, like I said, just brutal tragedy. If you want a better explaining of this, go check out Greco Fabulous's What Makes Greco Cry on I Kill Giants. It's just fantastic. About this girl, I believe her name is Barbara, who is an outcast in school with regular society, and here's some of the art. She deals with that by claiming to be a giant killer. Now, her being a giant killer is somewhat of a metaphor for something else that she's going through in her personal life, and it is it made me cry when I read it. It made Greco cry when he read it. It's just, it's hard to even talk about it because I don't want to spoil anything. And yeah, that's basically it. We're just gonna stick with that. I Kill Giants, super phenomenal, amazing, all those and more. Next, we have PunkRock Jesus by Sean Murphy. Art and story by Sean Murphy. Just did a phenomenal job on this book. This is basically a story of a reality TV show based around the second coming of Jesus Christ. But Jesus, well, they call him Chris. The amount of hoopla that goes on over there being a new Christ from both sides of the opinion, the extreme religious people and those who are not, is just crazy. As Chris grows up and learns about who he's supposed to be, the craziness that just happens with that, and the craziness that happens with his mother, as well as the people involved in the television show, and then the realization of things that happen later on, just fantastic. And then Chris turning into this mohawked punk rock singer of a band is just fantastic. This is another one where I own the trade as well as the singles and couldn't be happier about it. I've looked at the hardcover a few times, but it's always just kind of super priced, like high, and I just don't ever have the money for it at the time when I see it. So I will pick it up eventually. But PunkRock Jesus, super, super good. Okay, next, yet again, another book that I knew the movie before the book, and also another book where I have the singles as well as the trade, and that is V for Vendetta, done by Alan Moore and David Lloyd, by Vertigo. Just phenomenal. 100% of this book is just amazing. The story as well as the art. If you don't know the V for Vendetta story, I don't know what's wrong with you. There's some of the art, and it's just fantastic. The movie based on this work is actually really close to the book. I believe the ending's a little bit different. I'm trying to remember 100%, but I can't. But not as bad as like The Watchmen, which is not on this list. Spoilers. I love The Watchmen. It's just I love these more. I get more of an emotional feeling for these books. V for Vendetta, just like a dystopian future kind of vibe on it. Well, not really dystopian, just kind of. The world's a mess, and V is trying to help clean it up, but in a special kind of way, blowing up Parliament and all, you know. But just, I mean, as I was reading this, you know, you get kind of visions of the movie, and it's pretty much just solid. Like, it just really is. One thing I really, really like about this book is the coloring. Just super awesome. I don't know how else to explain it. My words are not all there today, I guess. But this it's just phenomenal. It really, really is. If you get the chance to pick it up, you should do so. I know finding the singles for me was difficult, but I pulled it off somehow, and it's just amazing, and I'm super glad I found them, and I'm super glad I found this book. If you get the chance, like I said, pick it up. Next, this book is also amazing. All these books are just fantastic, but these, like I said, these top five are a top five for me for a reason. Not only because the story's great, the art's great, but I can connect with them emotionally. Yeah. So this one is Day Tripper by Fabio Moon and Gabriel Ba. Another Vertigo book, which is kind of funny. There's a lot of Vertigo in here. I believe this was an Eisner winner. Yeah, for Best Limited Series. It says right there. Best Limited Series. It's a 10-issue book. I'll show you the actual, without the slip. There you go. That's the front cover of the actual hardcover. Just fantastic. Of course, Moon and Ba, the Brazilian twin brothers who do amazing work. This book, I think, was the first one of theirs that I've read, and it's just phenomenal. The art. Let me get you some art here, huh? How about that? How about I get you some art? There you go. It's like the second page, so I'm not spoiling anything. Where with this book in particular, I could spoil a lot just by talking about it. But it is about a guy who is basically living in the shadow of his father and trying to break free from that and be his own man. And there is a lot of realizing that choices you make can affect your life later on down the line or instantly. It's just really, really good. I don't know that if I cried when I read this book or not, but it's definitely in the vein of books where they have a super strong emotional attachment from me to it. Just amazing. This book I actually triple dipped in. So I had the hardcover, the soft cover, and the singles. I ended up giving the soft cover to my sister because I really thought she would enjoy it. But whenever I see any day tripper, I pick it up. I can't help myself. So I'll probably have the paperback soon one day again. And last but definitely not least, this book, I can't say enough good things about this book. I cried about 4 times when I read this book, and it has been a favorite of mine since, and that is Jeff Lemire's Underwater Welder, done by Top Shelf. Double dipped on this one. I don't think it has singles, so not that I've looked. I should probably look. But if they're singles, I'll be trying to own them very soon. Not only that, I have a sketch of from Jeff Lemire of the Underwater Welder that I won in a contest, and it's amazing. It's hanging up right above my desk, just to remind me of it, because this book I have a very strong attachment to. It's a story about a guy named Jack who has a very strained and odd relationship with his father that he's trying to figure out and unravel, while at the same time having to deal with the reality that his wife is currently like 9 months pregnant. She's about to pop, and he's trying to deal with this idea of whether or not he'll be a good father or if he'll end up like his own father. I kind of have that same. I had that same thing going on when my wife was pregnant with Lucas. Not that my father and I have a strained relationship. We just don't see each other as much as I would like, and the relationship between my parents was something very difficult for me to deal with when I was younger. I managed to finally get through it, but it took a long time, and that's the thing. It took time to deal with it. I couldn't wrap my mind around it when it was happening, and that's something that I know I don't want to deal with or put Lucas through ever. Wow, this got really personal. Like I said, I feel a very emotional attachment to this book. Anyway, let me show you some of the art. there's that. There's nothing that I'm really going to give away on this book, more than I talked about. But it's one of those things, like, even if I told you the end, it's more about the journey of the book that gets to you more than anything. So, yeah, it's just phenomenal. It's such a good read. Such an amazing story. And really, all of Jeff Lemire's like independent stuff is phenomenal. I haven't read one book of his that I haven't liked, at least creator-owned stuff. He just has a way of getting to me. Essex County was really, really good too. The Nobody was pretty good, but I felt like a book or a story I knew already. And Lost Dogs was really amazing. I believe Lost Dogs was his first graphic novel. Anyway, we're talking about The Underwater Welder, and I can't say how much I love it and what it means to me. And yeah, it's fantastic. If you get the chance, I highly recommend picking up either one. It's just so good. So good. And that's going to be my top 10 graphic novels list. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope I showed you some stuff you might not have known about, or reinvigorated your passion for one of the books that I talked about. And yeah, that's it, I guess. So have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Bye.